Because it's the Lunar New Year soon, Zulaa's family are coming here to prepare lots and lots of bots because they have a huge family. So we need some space in the freezer. So I've just been taking out all the bits of chickens that we had saved in the freezer. We have the feet and the necks and some hearts and some bones and some carcasses. Just going to make a quick chicken stock. I'm going to throw this in the oven, roast it off for about 45 minutes. I like that roasted flavor. Then we're going to add in some vegetables in that, and that can cook away for a few hours so we can get a nice chicken stock and space in the freezer. We also got some beef and some lamb. We need to cut that down and put it in the freezer. So once we have that all in the freezer, we also need to do a new batch of kombucha. We will do that quickly and show you the process, and then we will get back to our seats.
No, that's a sheep.
Sheep.
Hen nog komen niet.
Sheep.
Can you say hen?
A sheep too. Hee-haw.
Woo! A whole lamb. We also have half a beef. This is the hind quarter. I'm just going to cut that up. This weekend, Zulaa's family are going to make two types of bots. They're going to make a lamb bots and they're going to make a beef bots with sheep's tail, which is this part inside. That's why we have to take a bit of a break from the seeds this morning, get this all cut up, and then we can carry on. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So, hanging up the lamb and cutting it this way is just my preference. You can do it on the table. I'm just going to remove the tail, start to remove the front legs, the brisket, take away the ribs, take away the loins, cut away the hind legs, put everything in vacuum bags. My easiest way of doing it. Rib. For the chicken stock, all I'm going to do now that I have it all roasted, just throw it into a pot with some onions and carrots and garlic, throw some herbs in there, fill it up with water and just let it simmer away for a good long time. We will see, probably like 6 or 8 hours. Now that we have finished cutting up the lamb and all the beef, it took much longer than we thought, as usual. But everything is cut up, put in the freezer. The chicken stock has been going for 3 or 4 hours. It still has a little bit to go. One thing we needed to get done today is to continue our batch of kombucha. If you don't know what kombucha is, it is a fermented tea where you're basically taking a black tea and you're adding sugar with a yeast culture, and that yeast culture is fermenting the tea, and it is really, really good for you. It's got lots of probiotics in it. Here in this container, I have a kombucha starter, which has a kombucha SCOBY in it, which is the bacteria and yeast used to make kombucha. With this starter, we're going to make a full batch of kombucha, which is going to take about 2 weeks to ferment. We're going to put in black tea. This is English breakfast tea. I got 7 bags of that. This is a 7 liter, but we're going to make 5.5 liters of kombucha. Take 7 bags of English breakfast black tea, and I'm just going to pour over boiling water. I'm going to do 1.5 liters of water. I'm just going to let that steep for 15 minutes. So now that the black tea has been steeping for 15 minutes, we're just going to take out the 7 bags, just lightly give them a squeeze down, just under 1.5 cups of white sugar. Then we're going to take the tea that we've made, we're going to pour it over the sugar. Just mix it up. It may seem like a lot of sugar, but it's going to ferment and all that sugar is going to turn. Now that the sugar is dissolved into the tea, this is quite strong, so now we're going to dilute it with cold water, because when we add in the kombucha starter with the SCOBY, this is a live living bacteria. If it's too hot, it will kill it. Filled up cold water to just over 4.5 liters. That gives us the right consistency. This is the kombucha starter. You can see the color difference between the starter and this. As it ferments, it becomes a lot lighter. We're just going to take the whole amount this time. And I can show you, this is what they call the SCOBY. It is the yeast and bacteria that forms on top of the kombucha. Every time you make a new batch of kombucha, you will get a new SCOBY. A SCOBY is what you need to make kombucha. In Mongolia, you can either get a SCOBY from a friend and you can start making kombucha straight away. But if you don't, you have to make a SCOBY, and that you can do with a store-bought kombucha in Mongolia. There's a brand new company that are selling kombucha in the shops, and you can make your homemade kombucha from them, but I'm not going to tell you who the company is. That would be wrong of me. But anyway, that's the kombucha starter. What we want to do is we want to put the SCOBY inside the kombucha, and then we want to put 1.5 cups of the kombucha starter inside. And that's all you need to do. Then we're going to put a cloth on top. Make sure that it's breathable, that air can come in, but nothing goes in. We're going to pop that over. We're going to put this in a warm place at about 25, 26 degrees centigrade. Let this ferment for 2 weeks, and then we will have kombucha. Then we will make another batch, and we can add flavors to this. Let me know if you guys are really interested in kombucha. We can do a real breakdown on how to make it from scratch here in Mongolia. It's getting really late. We're just going to spend some time with Flame, and we're going to pick this up tomorrow. For the chicken stock, last night I removed all the carcasses and bones and strained it off. That meat I put in the fridge so we can feed that to the chickens. This morning I took the rest of the stock and I put it into the pot, and I reduced it down to the consistency and the flavor that I would like. Now I'm just going to put it into containers, and this is going to be perfect for when I make some nice pasta dishes or making some nice food for Flame. There are many different ways to make it. This is more a roasted chicken stock. It has the flavor that we like. Going to put this into the freezer. This is so much better than those little tablets that you buy in the shop. I would definitely recommend you trying to make a chicken stock. It will definitely change the flavor of your food. Today all of Zulaa's family are coming. As I said, they're going to be making 𝐑𝐞𝐚𝐿, which are Mongolian meat dumplings for the Lunar New Year that is coming up in 2 weeks. Apparently they're going to be making 1,000 𝐑𝐞𝐚𝐿. That's a lot of work today, so I thought that I would do something a little bit special for them. I'm just going to do some simple pulled pork tacos. Going to make that from scratch, and I will just show you the process so you will know how to do it. For the pulled pork, I'm just going to take this. It's a piece of Boston butt, which is just a little bit lower than the shoulder. I had a piece left over. What we're going to do is we're going to put some spice rub on here. We're going to wrap it up, and we're going to stick it into the oven for a few hours. I've got a mixture, just even mixture of black pepper, Himalayan salt, a bit of coriander. I'm going to throw in some onion powder, garlic powder, chili flakes, and some paprika. For the spice mix, we want to add that onto the meat, but we want to have some sort of binding agent to hold the spice. So that's where we're going to use two different things. We're going to use a mustard and a red wine vinegar. And a little bit of vegetable oil. So there are many different ways to do the pulled pork. I think that the easiest way is just to take some tin foil with the shiny side inside, put the meat on the foil. You want to keep all the liquids and everything all together so it can cook really nicely. Pour over the mixture, get it all rubbed in, then cover the spice rub all over. you want to wrap everything all together. More. But then when you have everything wrapped up just into a container, and that's going to cook with all the liquids and the spices all together. There are different cooking temperatures that you can do pulled pork. I'm going to do it at 150 degrees centigrade for about 3.5 hours, and then we will open it up to see if it's starting to pull. A little bit later we can make the soft tortilla breads, and we can pull this pork and we can enjoy it as a family. If you haven't made your own wheat tortillas before, I should definitely recommend doing it. Tastes a lot better. Anyway, it's absolutely crazy here making all the bots. Just some salad, some pulled pork, sriracha if you like it, a bit of salsa, pickled red onion that we made. Fantastic. Here we go.
Try.
Good.
Lovely.
It's going to be an absolutely crazy next couple of hours making all these bots. Guys, we're going to end the video here. Thanks so much, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.